What's good? Let's get it. Talking about life. Talking about everybody's broken. Everybody's suffering. Or at least has, right? At one point. Broken and suffering a little different, but everybody suffers. That's kind of the idea. Like, you're going to suffer. Especially if you're unconscious to like the root of it, right? So the question is it fixable? Like, can we fix our suffering? Can we cease our suffering? And it's a noble goal. It's something to strive for, right? But the question is it possible? Right, because if it's possible, you can do it. And if somebody's done it, that means you can do it. And that's kind of the mindset you should have, at least the mindset I have. If somebody else has done it, that means I can do it. So, they say it's naive, and maybe I'm naive in believing this, but I believe we don't need to suffer in the capacity we do. And continue to do. So it's like, all right, so you believe that, but then like, okay, so then how do you cease everybody's suffering? It's like, for one, well, you have to stop your own suffering, right? Because everything kind of reflection, right? That idea. So yeah, for me, it's the lifestyle, right? You change your lifestyle. So then you take that to the macro. If everybody changes their lifestyle, that means life changes. That means society changes. And that means the way we are now, the way we live now, is not conducive to a suffering-free lifestyle. Everybody knows this, right? Nobody really likes doing like driving to work and working in some job they hate just because they got like kids and shit. That whole idea, right? Not to get too conspiratorial, but a lot of people talk about like a depopulation agenda, right? Because some people believe there's too many people, some people believe there's not enough people. So the idea is, the conspiracy, the idea behind a depopulation agenda is, in order to make people happier overall, you need less people, right? Because if there's 8 billion people, or whatever the number is, 7 billion people, that's a lot of people to feed, to take care of, and that's the whole globalization and capitalism ideas. Like, in order to maintain people's lives and keep them alive and whatnot, you're going to have to do things you don't like. So the idea is that you take away people, a vast majority of people, it'll lead to being able to live a lifestyle that's more conducive to happiness, right? And you kind of see it with, so we'll take an example of the like indigenous communities. These are typically small communities, like say under 1,000 people. Just, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's not, you don't have 1 million people plus indigenous communities, right? And I'm not saying all these people are happy or don't suffer or whatever, but they're able to live a life and a lifestyle that's simpler, right? The idea that's less is more, or less but better. And that's kind of what people believe, that elites, or the whole a depopulation agenda, that would be the motive behind it, is in the end, it's out of love, and it's to make people happier overall, because everybody kind of knows now that the modern life isn't kind of conducive, we'll say, with happiness, right? And then, people say it's like, well, life's not supposed to be happy, like your brain's not intended to make you happy. And like, yeah, you're right. But now that we're at a certain point where, yeah, we pretty much have our needs provided for by doing the bare minimum, what's the next goal? It's happiness. Because there's not that struggle. Because they'll say like the struggle is what produces happiness. It's not the destination. It's the journey is what produces happiness and whatever. So people, if you're you're looking for the water, the food, the comfort, or whatever, and it's not just given to you, that process by itself leads to happiness. And we've kind of gotten away from that because it's pretty easy. Yeah, it's hard mentally, but it's pretty easy to live a life of comfort, right? There, you can get an apartment, get a TV, get a job. I mean, obviously there's asterisks to all this stuff, but the process in order to obtain comfort, which people equate with happiness, is easier than it's ever been, to the best of our knowledge, right? According to history books and the way things are, this is the most comfortable period of history. We'll say 1950s to present. But why does it make us the most unhappy? Why is this also the unhappiness period of history? So it's the two, right? It's the most comfortable period of history for, Western people, I guess. But it's also the most unhappy period of history. Because we don't suffer, we don't struggle to the degree, we don't suffer or struggle for our necessities. And I guess, this kind of been like a ramble, and we started out about ceasing suffering, but I guess the point is, like, it's really just a mindset. Like, suffering is all, like, it's mental. Everything's, I hate to be like, oh, everything's a mindset, but tell that to the people. Like, I seen a video about like this yogi in the mountains of India. He's wearing a little wiener piece. I don't know what to call it, like a little tighty whitey type thing, in the mountains, the snowy, freezing cold mountains of India. You put any other person out there, they'll die, right? But he's still a human being. So what's the difference? The difference is the mental. The difference is also a little bit of the physical, of like learning techniques and tricks to cope with life or the cold. But at the end of the day, you use your mind to control your body, not the other way around. So I guess the point is, how do you end suffering? Is make life simpler, make life simple, and control your mind. Because you get a choice of how you look at everything in the world, right? Positive, negative, indifferent, whatever. Maybe it's a stupid ass video, but simplify your life and strengthen your mindset to end the suffering that you perceive you have. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna post this without watching it, but whatever. I might have been wrong about some stuff or whatever. It's not maybe what I exactly think. I kind of just rambled, but enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.